Michael Bisping just dropped some major news about what's next for Ilia Topuria. He believes the UFC is planning something absolutely massive, a potential super fight with Islam Makhachev. Now look, we all know there are other killers in that lightweight division. Arman Tsarukyan, Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, all worthy contenders. But Bisping makes an interesting point here. The UFC probably won't risk having Ilia face any of them first. Why? Because if Topuria loses to one of those guys, all that incredible hype around the featherweight champ moving up for the lightweight belt would just vanish. Right now, Topuria is absolutely soaring. His momentum is through the roof, and the UFC surely wants to capitalize on this as soon as humanly possible. With Makhachev currently in a holding pattern because of Belal Muhammad's upcoming welterweight title fight, taking on the Georgian sensation makes perfect sense. Just imagine it. Champion versus champion, a blockbuster that the UFC could market like crazy, pulling in both hardcore fans like us and casual viewers alike. Bisping also emphasized that Makhachev would probably love this fight, seeing it as a golden opportunity to take out a rising star while he waits for his shot at the welterweight gold. If the UFC goes this direction, we could be looking at one of the most explosive fights of 2025. Wow.
So realistically, any of those guys that I just mentioned, Islam, Arman, Charles, Justin, and it might be one of them, but it's probably going to be, if you ask me to bet, I think Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria, because any of those guys, Arman, Charles, Justin, sure, they'd all be phenomenal fights, and they'd all have a realistic chance of potentially beating Ilia Topuria. Granted, Ilia is special. I'm not saying that he's not. But if he lost to them, there's a massive market opportunity lost there, because Ilia versus Islam, Ilia with the rise, Ilia still being in a lot of people's minds the featherweight champion against the lightweight champion, there's something there. And yeah, if he loses to Gaethje but then 2-3 fights later gets a shot, it's not quite the same sell. The public wouldn't be quite as still invested. So I think they're going to give him the title fight. I think Islam's going to take it. Yes, okay, granted, he wants a shot at becoming a two-weight champion, but he's going to have to wait for a while because of Belal. So in the meantime, you take out Ilia Topuria, which would be an absolutely blockbuster.
Peter Yan just laid out his entire path back to gold during his appearance on the Ariel Helwani show. He made it crystal clear. His ultimate goal is reclaiming his title by defeating Magomed Ankalaev. The former champ didn't hold back at all when calling out Magomed, making it obvious he still sees major unfinished business with the Dagestani fighter. But before that revenge match can happen, Yan has a crucial test ahead of him: Carlos Ulberg. Their upcoming bout is essentially a title eliminator, and Yan knows he absolutely must take care of business against the dangerous Kiwi fighter first. While his immediate focus is locked on Ulberg, Yan made it abundantly clear that his long-term plan is methodical. Beat Ulberg, then take down Ankalaev, and finally secure that rematch with Alex Pereira before hanging up his gloves for good. But that's not the only fight that has his blood pumping. He also entertained the idea of a massive showdown with Gigi Prochaska, a bout that would be absolutely historic for European MMA. He even suggested something incredible: that the UFC could create a special King of Europe belt just for the occasion, raising the stakes even higher for what would already be a blockbuster fight. Do you think Yan can successfully execute his ambitious plan and become champion again? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
What's gonna happen? I'm gonna have title shot against Ankalaev. Like, for me, it's like, first of all, I focus only about Ulberg.
Yeah.
I believe that I'm gonna beat him, and if you ask me what's gonna be next, only this. We've got, we've got our story, unfinished business, we have to finish. So, but first of all, I focus only about my next fight. Yeah, so I beat Ulberg, then I take a title shot against Ankalaev. I beat Ankalaev, and rematch against Pereira. I defend the belt against Pereira. Perfect scenario for me.
You have it all figured out.
Create in my head.
You have it.
Yeah, then I can go to the mountains again.
The one that I still feel like we need to see is you versus Yuri.
For King of Europe.
Yes, that's the one I want to see.
Maybe we will see what's gonna happen. It's also one of options for future. But
oh my God! Did you hear what just happened? Khamzat Chimaev confronted a heavyweight fighter in the gym and broke his nose. In a shocking interview with Russian influencer Asab Chimaev, Khamzat was asked point blank about a rumor that he had injured heavyweight fighter Amir Aliakbari during a gym session. Without even hesitating, Chimaev confirmed the story and revealed all the details. According to Khamzat, the whole incident went down after Aliakbari had called out his close friend, Mohammed Chimaev. Khamzat was furious about the challenge and made sure to confront the heavyweight the very moment he stepped into the gym. But instead of just exchanging words, Khamzat took matters straight to the mats, demanding an immediate sparring session with the much larger heavyweight. All of this happened while Chimaev was deep in training for his highly anticipated showdown with middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis, a fight that will be the biggest test of his entire career. What followed was an intense 30-minute war, no casual training, just a brutal, non-stop fight. Khamzat, known for his aggressive approach to sparring, went completely all out, turning the session into an ugly brawl. Eventually, coaches had to rush in and separate them. Afterward, Aliakbari admitted he had only called out Muhammad for promotional reasons and that he actually respected him. Here's what Khamzat said. "Yeah, that happened when he called out my very close friend Muhammad to hype up a championship fight in ONE FC. The moment I saw this guy walk into the gym, I approached him and asked to spar. You know, if someone even verbally goes after my brother, I take it personally. So I went up to him and said, 'Let's go. You wanted to fight Muhammad? Spar with me first, and we'll see.' We put on our gloves and started sparring. It went on for about 30 minutes. It was an absolute war. We brawled like it was a street fight, and eventually, they had to separate us. After sparring, I spoke to him about Muhammad, and he told me he respected him and was only talking trash for promotional purposes. You know, I always go hard in sparring, every single time. That's just who I am, and especially if it's against someone who has talked bad about my friend." In other news, John Anik strongly believes Justin Gaethje deserves a shot at Islam Makhachev after proving once again that he's a top-tier fighter in the lightweight division. Justin has many fans and analysts alike calling for him to face Makhachev next. The popular opinion is that he should receive a title shot at the very least because he's a fresh competitor for the reigning champion. In a recent interview with Bloody Elbow, the UFC commentator made it crystal clear that Justin's performance absolutely warrants a shot at the champion. He explained that while knockout victories are often celebrated, Gaethje's methodical decision win over Dustin Poirier was actually more valuable, showcasing his endurance and tactical growth. Anik further emphasized that Gaethje's Hall of Fame-worthy career is a testament to his status as one of the sport's all-time greats. John also pointed out that Islam Makhachev would likely be intrigued by the prospect of facing the highlight given his high-profile appeal and the potential for a massive pay-per-view event. With Ilia Topuria, Justin Gaethje, and Charles Oliveira all vying for the next title shot, John believes Gaethje's performance and promotional appeal make him the logical choice for Makhachev's next opponent. What do you think? Are you interested in seeing Justin Gaethje get the next shot at Islam Makhachev despite his huge grappling disadvantage? Or does former champ Ilia Topuria deserve the title shot next? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.